Whoop, whoop. Hey everyone, no fancy opening today. Forgot to hit that button, but so glad you could join us on the Clydesdale Media weight loss journey. My name is Scott Switzer. I'm the Clydesdale. She is Cheryl Nasso. She is my nutrition coach, and she's the one that runs the show. So I am going to turn it over to her.
I'm just really happy that you just messed up. Because I'm gonna be
Oh,
honest. I'm gonna
I
be
mess
honest.
up all the time.
Oh, here's the deal: is like so. Just so y'all know, Scott helps me out with my podcast, Fit Body Secrets, and I am getting really uncomfortable going live on these, and I am always messing up. And when you mess up on these lives, you can't restart. And I used to be able to just be like, oh shit, restart. So if you guys could see how many bloopers I have from like Zoom from doing them, like but can't do that anymore. So, anyways. Welcome to this week's check-in. Happy Thanksgiving. So Scott, first of all, fill me in on how your Thanksgiving dinner was with your family last Saturday, because we haven't even gotten to check in on that yet.
So it went fine.
Yeah.
We had family members get sick and couldn't come. So it was really, really intimate. And actually, a lot of the foods didn't even make it to the table because we had made them for those people, or we're going to make them for those people. So it was like, why do that when they're not going to be here? So let's minimize. So we had my mom's homemade pizza and salad. And then I took home with me a bunch of chicken breast and a vegetable tray. So the rest of the weekend, it was just my mom and I, and we literally ate chicken salads, chicken and vegetables the whole weekend.
Yeah. And I love that. And I think that, you also did you have a Thanksgiving on Thursday as well?
We did.
Good. And I mean, guys, also for like all the listeners out there is like, what I love is like, we're going to talk about this past it's really been 2 weeks now. We've been kind of in a little bit of chaos, but, for people to realize that like the holidays are like one meal, even if it's 3 meals out of your entire week, that's all it is. And it's a good segue into our honestly, our main thing today is going over kind of like it started, I guess, Monday, not this past Monday, but the Monday before, because we didn't do this last week because you were away with your family or visiting your mom. Is you had a really big opportunity to be interviewed on another person's podcast. And with that, I think came, from what I'm reading in your check in, a level of responsibility to and I'm putting you on the spot today. I know this is vulnerable. A little bit of responsibility to be the leader for a lot of people out there that found your story so inspirational. And that is a really awesome place to be in. But it also comes with a level of pressure that can sometimes cause self-sabotage. And I say this with full-hearted understanding from those things as an athlete. As athletes, we experience this all the time. There's a level of success that also creates a level of pressure of, am I really this person, or am I an imposter? And also the energy drain from wanting to answer so many people. And by all means, anybody listen to this is not telling you to stop reaching out to Scott, because he wants to hear from you and we want to help. But it also comes down with understanding the personal responsibility to yourself and your journey. Because what you experienced last week is no different than what other people experience when they're distracted by things in their life and they let those things take them away from this journey they're on. So I wanted to start by saying, and just kind of filling the audience on, and I'm going to just go ahead and read over. I was going to pull it up, guys, but I can't. So I'm just going to read it. In my check-in forms, it starts with the very first question I ask is, did you have any successes this week? Because I really want people to reflect on things that went well before we talk about what needs to be fixed for this week. And his answer was, success was crazy in my personal life this week. So to an amazing level. The scale is doing awesome for travel and Thanksgiving. I was prepared with good, healthy food options. Did you have any struggles this week? I was overwhelmed with success last week. I needed to step away and breathe. So good. Going to PA was good for me. I started a book and gotten my mind in the right place. I am now back to logging everything and in my groove again. I have one more dinner I have to get through this week, then I am good to go. Okay. So I wanted to kind of start by just answering those couple of things. Now, I'm going to let you talk because I just talked for a lot. Is you had the podcast on Monday, you had dinner on Saturday, and then you had dinner on Thursday, right? What broke you to stop sticking to the habits that you had created for yourself?
So I think, and it's really just guessing. Like I probably need to talk to my therapist more because this was all we taught. So just so everybody knows, I see a therapist once a month. It happened to be the Friday before I left for Pennsylvania. I saw him right before I left. And there was a lot going on in my head and a lot to talk about, and we couldn't get it all in the hour. So it is definitely on tap for next month as well. But I will say I went on the Sevon podcast, and most of you who listen to this know who Sevon is, and it was amazing. It was an amazing experience to tell my story very openly and honestly. And I cannot believe the amount of outpouring that I got. I have done a CrossFit documentary in the past. I have done other things where I've told my story publicly. Nothing has gotten me this much attention before in my life. It was hundreds of people reaching out to me, congratulating me, wanting help, and I want to help everyone. And I didn't want to just ignore those comments because they took the time to send them to me. So I wanted to make sure that I was thoughtful in response to that. And by the end of that week, I was toast.
Mhm.
I just, I had nothing left for myself. And it was scary.
Yeah. But I'm going to go back and ask you the same question again. What took away from you doing things like, and by the way, before I go into this, is I also have gotten a lot of people reaching out to me as well. And I thank you and I'm grateful for the opportunity. I wasn't on the podcast, but a lot of people had to do
But you were.
I had to do they had to do a lot of deep digging to find me, but I've had some people reach out to me as well. And guys, I don't want to cry, but I want to fucking help. Excuse my language, but I am tired of CrossFit pushing carnivore diet and keto diet and cutting out all their food groups and all this shit. Guys, that stuff does not work. That's not I'm going to leave that for another episode. But going back to you, okay? We're busy. Life happens. When you're answering all these emails, all right? You're answering all these messages. Every day you have to eat, okay? Every day you go to your kitchen, you put food on your plate. And I'm going to ask you because you're I'm going to be honest, I know you. Your food probably did not change much. I could be wrong. I think you were still very much
No,
on track. But my point is what took you from I'm going to track my food while I'm eating to I'm just not going to do that all week.
I don't think there was a conscious thought in that. And I'm being completely honest. There was no like, I'm not going to do this. I think it was I would get so when I log, I have a little I have a little post-it note that I write down everything. And
Yep.
then when I get back to my desk, I start logging stuff in. Well, the post-it notes were piling up. And then it was, oh my gosh, like it's going to take me forever to enter those.
Yep.
Let me just keep focusing on working out and getting good food in. And I still was writing them down on paper.
Yeah.
I just wasn't getting them into the system.
Got it. And let me just go ahead and tell you that
And
for me, go ahead. Yeah.
I will say my diet got super simplified.
Yeah.
Like I went back to just this is what I know and this is what I'll do till I get through this time.
Yep.
And that was lots of chicken, a little bit of rice and a little bit of potato and a lot of veggies.
Yeah. So I know I'm talking like Scott did something quote unquote wrong, but he didn't. Because here's the deal, guys, and this is the learning curve from this. There's two pieces that I want Scott and all of you to take away from this whole situation is Scott hasn't logged his food in 2 weeks. About 2 weeks now. It's been 2 weeks. And I don't want him to fall off a bandwagon of logging because this has happened in the past and it's where we start to stall out. And he's got a goal and we're going to lose 100 pounds. And in order for us to make sure that we can keep losing weight, we have to know how much is going in. However, because he is so dedicated and because he has logged his food for so long and because he has a routine and structure in his day, he didn't have to log his food for the last 2 weeks to know, I know I'm eating the right amount of food. In fact, I'm probably slightly under eating, but that's okay. I'm going to get through these 2 weeks. And that is the power of tracking your food because it's not something that you have to do for the rest of your life. It is a way we can measure to change. You can go to the gym and never track any of your results and still be having a good workout. But if all of a sudden you're wanting to PR a mile time and you're no longer a newbie, you're going to have to start knowing your paces and you're going to start dialing things in and tracking paces. The exact same thing with your nutrition. So I'm honestly happy with the fact that you have that amount of self-control and discipline and structure in your life. The only thing I want other people to get, the second piece of this is knowing that like when you break a habit, it always makes it harder to jump back in. So that's why.
And I
Yeah.
can echo that because I said to you Wednesday, like I wanted to get back to logging. And here we are Saturday, and I'm still struggling getting back to actually putting it into my phone.
Yeah.
And
this
I
is
had done it nonstop for since August?
Yep. And this is where people don't realize that we're in the holiday season. This is a great topic today. Thanksgiving was Thursday. It is now Saturday. You don't have to wait until Monday to get back on track. Every single meal is a new opportunity. If you didn't track anything yet today, you can start right now. There is no perfect time to jump right back on the bandwagon. In fact, the perfect time is when you make the conscious decision, man, I need to get back on track. Now's the time. It's not waiting until Monday because the Monday mentality is why people constantly feel like there's this like perfect way. The perfect way is imperfect action. Messy action taken now will get you more progress than waiting for perfection. Going back to fitness. If you're running a 10K and you get tired, you're going to stop and stand there? No, you're probably going to start walking. I'm just going to keep making forward progress until I get my win back. Same thing. No perfection. The people that stop and wait till they're fit enough to run the 10K never run the 10K. They don't. They stay at the starting line. Oh, it'll feel better tomorrow. Let me get a little bit more fitness in. Nope, don't happen that way.
So there's one other change that I need to talk to you about.
Yep.
That I have not yet, and that is I have to change my workout schedule.
Okay.
It is getting my job is getting too messy for me to do noon classes now. Mm-hmm. So starting Monday, I am doing 7 a.m. I'm going to get it in before anybody has a hold of me. And that way, no matter what happens during the day, I already have that done, logged, and behind me.
I love that. And I think that I'm going to be honest, guys. And I know one of my clients, Ryan, I'm actually going to tell him he should listen to this, is, I get it, guys. Sleep is precious and we all need sleep. We all do need sleep. But, at the end of the day, we all should be going to bed earlier too. And I do think that for a lot of people, getting up and getting moving is the best way to start your day. I know it sucks getting out of bed, but once you do, you will feel so much better. In fact, I'm going to be honest. I know I perform better later in the day, but I have got to work out. I've got to do something when I first wake up. Otherwise, I am I feel like I'm still hungover. I'm just the morning movement. You don't have to worry about the bullshit in your head. You get it done. You're like, I have all day to stress about that stuff. There's no, oh, let me answer this one more question. One more thing. Like, you don't have any of that. You wake up, you brush your teeth, you wash your face, out the door. Like, that's the best way to get started. In fact, it'll also help you develop a better nighttime routine, because if you're really diligent at night and you, like, for instance, when I used to get up really early, I get my workout clothes set up. I would get everything set up the night before. So when I woke up in the morning, all I had to do is hit start on the coffee pot and get out the door. And that's like automated. You're going to feel better. And so it sucks. Obviously, you've got a crew that you see, but you're going to develop a new crew and you'll be fine.
Yeah, and it doesn't mean I can't stop in on the new class here and there.
Yeah.
But this needs to be my regular class. And I used to be a morning workout guy. But I am letting you know as my coach, there is a fear with my back that early in the morning. Will I have enough time to get that loosened up?
Agreed.
Um,
I would agree with that 100%. So
so I'm
yeah.
going to be checking in with you early next week to let you know how that's going.
Yeah. So what I would really recommend doing for you is, if you get to the gym 5 minutes before class, I know it's going to be hard to not just like sit there and want to stretch. Get on that assault bike, 5 to 10 minutes. If you've got 10 minutes, go for a full 10 minutes. Not hard, just something to start breaking a sweat. And if you want to throw some air squats in there, even if there's a warm up, you're not going to wear yourself up. You're going to feel better going into the workout. In fact, guys, I am the worst person about warming up. I was going to make an Instagram reel about this, where like CrossFitters in 2009 and like have like, I'm probably still going to do it. So you wait for it now, but they have all this gear on and their warm up is like a few passers and then they go and jump into the workout. That's how it used to be. And now it's like CrossFitters in 2023, like no gear, no equipment, but their warm up is like 2 hours long. It's like, so you don't need a 2 hour warm up. But what I've been doing every day, 3 rounds, 5 calories of assault bike, 1 round of Cindy. 3 to 5 rounds, it gets my whole body loosened up. If I don't feel like doing a strict pull up, I'll do a ring row. Like, just something to kind of like, no thinking. I don't have to worry about like, what am I? Just do it. And then you're like, oh, I feel good. And now you can do some workout specific movements, but now you've got something in. So get in there, get a warm up in, and get going. That's the main thing. I'm looking at Larry's comment. Mr. Larry, all the time at different places. I miss tracking too, but just put my oatmeal in today. Awesome. And I'm actually happy to see Larry's eating oatmeal. Larry, I think, has fear of carb fear. So the fact that he's eating oatmeal in the morning makes me happy. He does eat oatmeal sometimes, but sometimes I'm like, dude, you got to get some carbs in, man. You're not going to get anywhere. So I think everything else. So good thing is also, guys, just so you guys know, that despite Scott not tracking, his weight is still going down. Despite having holiday meals this week, his weight is at its lowest yet. So that is also
It's actually a little bit lower.
Oh yeah, is it under the 321?
It is.
Yay! 320.
So we've crossed over 30 pounds.
And
Yeah,
how much since August?
320.6.
So we're at 30 pounds. We're at an anniversary. We need to have a party. Okay, so we're at 30 pounds since August 9th. So it's August, September, October, November. So just almost 3.5 months or so. Right?
Yeah, we're right on that pace for 100.
We are right on the money. That just gave me goosebumps. If that gives you anything, that means that you need to like really back on it, dude. Back on it. It's going to be a couple of weeks before you have another thing, probably with holidays and stuff. And then the last thing that I want to say before I open the floor up to you is, guys, self-care and setting boundaries is so important. And, I know that we all want to give to everybody else, but we cannot forget about ourselves. And that means that all of the amazing comments that you get, you take them and you answer them. But guess what? Like, take your time. Take your time. You don't have to do it all in one day. You can say, I'm going to sit down for an hour and I'm going to just scroll through these comments. And you know what? People are going to love you more for that, because guess what? You will show up with more energy. Even if you don't show up in person, you'll feel different. You will feel like it's better. So guys, you have got to really realize that self-care is so important. And and that it's not a bad thing. In fact, it's this is also where it's your weekend. Taking some time this weekend to be like, you know what? I'm gonna be chilling at my house and I'm not dealing with anything. And I mean, on the Thanksgiving for me, I'm the worst about this. So I tell you guys, I purposely did not have my phone out for the entire day. I didn't want to look at it because I know I was going to be getting messages, and I'm grateful for every message that I got for people saying Happy Thanksgiving. But I also didn't want to be on my phone while I should be spending time with my family. So that's important. So that's all I got to say. Anything in particular besides, so this week we got new class schedule. So you got to make sure you're warming up. That's starting on Monday.
Yep.
Okay. You got a football game today. I know you're going to be watching. I want you to start tracking again today. And I think that the other thing that you might want to think about is the post-it note thing is great strategy, but it's not great when they start piling up. So it might be setting up a time every day that you do that. Or it might just be realizing that the post-it note is great, but maybe you log at lunchtime when if you're not going to the lunch hour, that lunchtime, you're like, okay, I'm going to go ahead and log my breakfast and lunch and I'll finish out the rest of the day. Like you're at least getting yourself, it's way chewable chunks, I call it. No pun
Okay.
intended.
Yeah. Yeah. I will log today right after we're done here. And the other thing I want to say is, for those of you who don't know, I'm a Christian. I believe in God and Christ is my savior. When I picked up a book, I God had the right book for me. I'm reading Bono's autobiography from U2, and he talks about the struggles of wanting to give back, the struggles of success, the struggles of um, when to be present with his band and when to be present with others. And it just was like God was speaking to me through his words.
Yep.
Um, and it really helped me reset the weekend after all of the successes I had. And yes, Katie, thank you for jumping in with us, for being on Savon and the way that I was treated there and allowed to tell my story. It seemed to impact a lot of people. And I took all that on that first week. And then that book helped me kind of realize there are segments I have to figure out when to do this, when to do that, when it's for me,
I
when
love
it's for my group of people, when it's for my family.
Well, what's funny, Scott, is and this is your story, but I'm going to share is, you know, and a lot of people don't realize that I deal with this myself. I still want to be a competitive athlete, but my life is pouring into helping others be their best. If there's two of my biggest core values is being the best me I can be and helping make others the best them they can be. And those are two things that are really hard. And that's why I mentioned taking care of yourself. And I'm glad that you mentioned God and faith because I also have faith in God. And in a lot of ways, I had abandoned that relationship because I just was so busy and it was one more thing. And a couple of weeks ago, when I was in a place of like, what am I doing? And I was hysterically crying. All I did was start listening to a church sermon again, got myself plugged back in because I know, just like me, you were put on this earth for a reason. And just like I talk about my struggles, your struggles were not in vain. And that those are there to share other people. And I don't want to get all, because I know that not everybody wants to go down this rabbit hole, but sometimes we just got to be open and talking about things that we feel compassionate about. And every day I now start my morning again with listening to some Christian music. And I hadn't done that in over a year. And I feel so much better. In fact, I'm going to be honest, I've been listening to it while I'm working out more. So, I mean, it's been helping me find purpose and reason. So, anyways, Scott, I am just so unbelievably happy for you right now that we're in a good place and 30 pounds down. So, like, we got to figure out some way to celebrate. We got to celebrate this. And I feel like we are on track because I want y'all to come down for Wadapalooza. It's November, December, January, February. We should be over the 50-pound mark around Wadapalooza. We'll have to have a big celebration if y'all come down for that. So that's my thoughts. Oh, you're muted. 2-in-1 show.
I gotta figure out how to get down there because it's just squeezing the finances into the trip. But I think we can do it. I think we're going to be okay. And hopefully by the end of the weekend, I have some plans
Yeah. Yeah.
to get down there. But I want to say, sorry, this has gone a little bit long today. We just hit a really big pothole kind of
Yeah.
in the journey. And with that, we are still on pace to hit the 100-pound mark by the 2023 CrossFit Games.
Because even though it was a pothole, your habits shine through. Your commitment to yourself shine through. The pothole could have been worse. The pothole could have been, oh, whatever, let me eat whatever I want, which is what most people do. You didn't. You stuck to your routine. You didn't change. That's it. You did great. You did
Yeah.
freaking awesome. So, and I agree that we went a little bit long, but I know I have to go because I got to go. So we're doing a little thing. So little thing with my family. We're doing a like a scavenger hunt around the neighborhood. So I'm gonna go meet up with my family and do that. My family time today. So but guys, I'm loving these. So if you guys have any questions about anything, feel free to reach out to Scott or I. Scott, I'm so proud of you. Keep up the good work, and we will talk next week, I guess.
Yeah, we will. See you next time on the Clydesdale Media weight loss journey.